We're ready, Your Honor.
All right. This is case number. Hi, Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Yes.
Is Mr. Davis on? Is it Anthony? Oh no.
It's Tyrone, Your Honor.
Is he on my? Oh, I see it. I'm sorry. Okay. Case number 213-559-791. Tyrone Lee Davis. The charge is reckless driving. Also 213-559-801. Same defendant, no proof of insurance. Both matters are set for trial and formal hearing. Mr. Tyrone Lee Davis, if you're in the virtual courtroom, sir, please say your name for the record.
Yes, this is Tyrone Lee Davis.
Thank you. And who's representing Mr. Davis?
Morning, Your Honor. Ben Werbling, P64889 on behalf of Mr. Tyrone Lee Davis.
Thank you. And how do you wish to proceed with Mr. Davis?
Judge, he wishes to waive his rights. They've changed their offer where they were willing to amend the reckless driving to drag racing and dismiss the no proof of insurance civil infraction.
So they've changed it to that, right?
Yeah, Judge.
Now, the officer is here, Corporal Valerie. I can't hear you, sir. You're muted.
Sorry about that. That's correct, ma'am. Corporal Valerie.
And Corporal Valerie, your badge number for the record, please.
722.
Corporal Valerie, you are aware of the people's offer. Do you wish to be heard on that offer at all?
I am aware and I don't need to be heard, ma'am.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your being here. All right, Mr. Davis, are you able to connect Mr. Davis by video camera? If so, would you do that, please, sir, so I can see your face?
I'm not sure. I always called in my phone. I'm not sure how to video.
Okay, so you're only on the phone. All right, Mr. Davis.
Yes.
You have heard the representation of your lawyer. Are you in agreement with that representation?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, were you advised of your right to a trial?
Yes.
Sir, you understand that if you were to have a trial, normally it would take place in person inside the 36th District Court. But because of the pandemic, the courthouse is closed to the public. And so you've agreed to participate on the Zoom technology today. Is that right?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, did you have an opportunity to speak to your attorney about all of your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, did anyone threaten you, force you, or promise you anything in exchange for your plea?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Davis, are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes.
And sir, are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, do you understand that by pleading guilty, sir, you are waiving or giving up your right to a trial?
Yes.
And knowing that you're giving up your right to a trial, you wish to go forward with the guilty plea?
Yes.
Please raise your right hand and be sworn. Mr. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
Sir, I can't see your hand, but I'm hopeful that you are in fact raising your right hand. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you may lower your hand. Mr. Davis, on the date, the time, and the location indicated in the ticket ending in 559791, were you driving a motor vehicle in the city of Detroit?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, were you driving that motor vehicle in a reckless manner?
Yes.
Were you approached by a police officer?
Yes, ma'am.
What were you doing, Mr. Davis?
I was driving on a grass shit.
Were you speeding? Were you drag racing? Were you doing, what were you doing?
Oh, I was speeding. I was speeding.
But we'll stipulate that he was going 80 and a 35.
Correct.
All right, sir. The record will so reflect. And Mr. Werbling, if you're satisfied with the factual basis, including that stipulation, please indicate by saying yes at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will accept the guilty plea. We will also accept the recommendation to dismiss the remaining charge previously read into the record. Mr. Davis, how long have you been driving, sir? How old are you?
I am 27, man.
Mr. Davis,
I've been driving. I went to driving school, so I got my license at probably 17 or 18.
do you know a judge from this court was killed on Gratiot by a driver speeding? Yes.
So I wasn't
Did you
aware
know
of that.
that? Actually, we've had 2 judges on this bench killed by drivers, reckless drivers on Gratiot.
Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't aware.
Wow. Yes, that is very reckless behavior, Mr. Davis, that can result in criminal behavior, given the right circumstance. Someone being the wrong place at the wrong time could be killed by someone driving,
Understand.
as you have. Have you ever been charged with this offense before?
No, I'm not reckless.
Okay, and was there any accident or anything else that the court should be aware of, Corporal?
No, no,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. The fine for this offense is $210. And Madam Clerk, I'm not sure if there's a mandatory reinstatement fee added to that amount. Is there?
Your Honor.
The $210 must be paid in 30 days. Mr. Davis, are you able to pay that in 30 days?
Is
Are you
it possible I
employed?
can get 45 days, ma'am?
Yes, I can give you 45 days. Madam Clerk, does he owe an additional $45?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so just $210, Mr. Davis, and we will give you 45 days to pay. Mr. Davis, please remember what I said. It is
I will, ma'am.
extremely dangerous. I mean, 2 judges on the same bench on that same street. On that same
Yeah.
street. Yes, yes, please. All right, do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Davis, you may disconnect from the hearing at this time. And thank you, Corporal. You may disconnect as well.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're
Thank you. Have a
welcome.
good day.
And the court is calling Mr. Ross at this time. Is Mr. Ross ready? Is it Devontae Ross, Mr. Werbling?
It is. Let me make sure, Judge.
He actually disconnected, Your Honor.
Oh, boy.
Okay, then we are going to Mr. Rahman. Rahman, is that correct? Case number SP 119-58711, Ali Lamar Rahman. And the charge is driver's license suspended. That's a repeat offender case. Also 194-595-791, Ali Lamar Rahman, no operator's license on person, and count 2 of that same ticket, no insurance. Also SP 8260731, same defendant, no operator's license on person. All matters are scheduled for pretrial. Mr. Rahman, if you're in the virtual courtroom, sir, please say your name for the record.
Ali Rahman.
Raham.
Ali Rahman.
Rahman, thank you. Who's representing Mr. Rahman?
Good morning, Your Honor. Ben Werbling, P64889 on behalf of the defendant.
Thank you. And how does Mr. Rahman wish to proceed today, Mr. Werbling?
Judge, he wishes to waive his rights. He wants to take advantage of the offer.
And what is that offer, sir?
Judge, he would be pleading to limit access speed 1 to 5 and open intoxicants as a passenger.
Okay, so the limited access amendment, which ticket does that apply to? You want to give me the
Sure.
last four numbers?
Sure, Judge, that would be.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, did you ask a question?
Looks like it.
Yes, the tickets that he's pleading to, limited access, what are the last four digits of that ticket?
I think it's 5869.
5869? I don't have 5869.
It's not on the docket. It must have been. Let me see. Oh, actually.
Is it an add-on, Madam Clerk?
I did not see that, Your Honor. Let me.
5869, Mr. Werbling, you sure?
Yeah, because I'm looking at the ticket, Judge.
Okay, well, I don't have that on, so we didn't even call that case.
Okay.
And Madam Clerk doesn't have that. She needs that because otherwise it won't show up in his record.
I
Sorry.
do have the ticket, Your Honor.
What's
I
that
did
ticket?
not. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna ask, what is that in whole ticket number?
Sure.
Ticket number is SP 1195869, count 1, 21 to 25 miles over speed. Count 2, no proof of insurance, and count 3, tinted windows.
Oh, okay, so, okay. So he has 3 additional counts in addition to the ones that I read into the record. So altogether, for Mr. Rahman, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 matters scheduled for today, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. The ticket that I just read, those were civil infractions that were defaulted. Judge Robinson Garrett would allow the prosecutor to set aside the default. That's why they weren't on the docket.
Okay,
If they were within the last 2 years due to the pandemic.
okay.
So that was why they were included in the offer.
So the court will allow the default to be set aside. I don't think we need the prosecutor for that. The court can do that sua sponte. So we will set aside the default for the reasons related to the pandemic. And we will accept a responsible plea to that civil infraction, count 1, driving 21 to 25 miles over the speed limit. Is that what Mr. Rahman is pleading responsible to, Mr. Werbling?
Judge, I have limited access speed 1 to 5 over.
So it's being amended to limited access.
Yep.
1 to 5 over. And is he pleading to any misdemeanor offenses today?
Yes, Judge, he's also pleading to open intoxicants in a vehicle as a passenger, which would have been, the last 4 digits was 5964.
See, I don't have that one either. So that didn't get read into the record either. Let me see. It did not. 5964. So he's got more cases than that. Madam Clerk, do you have that one? Open intoxicants? What's the number of that charge?
It is ticket number SP 119599641. And it is open alcohol and a motor vehicle driver. And it was set for show cause in July. The ticket was in the file. That's why the prosecutor wrote the offer.
Okay. I'm very sorry. I did not have any of those, but it is important that they all get read into the record and their numbers so that the court reporter can reflect that in the transcript and so that the clerk can take care of that in the system. All right, so I will have to swear you in, Mr. Rahman, on that misdemeanor offense. Were you advised of your right to a trial, sir?
Yes.
Mr. Rahman, you understand that if you were to have a trial, normally it would take place in person inside the 36th District Court. But because of the pandemic, the courthouse has been closed to the public. And so you participate on the Zoom technology today. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
Mr. Rahman, did you have an opportunity to speak to your attorney about all of your rights?
Yes, I did.
Or did anyone threaten you, force you, or promise you anything in exchange for your plea?
No.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
And sir, do you understand that by pleading guilty, you are waiving or giving up your right to a trial?
Yes.
And knowing that you're giving up your rights, sir, you wish to go forward with that guilty plea.
Yes.
Mr. Rahman, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
You may lower your hand, Mr. Rahman, on the date, the time, and the location indicated in the ticket ending in 59651. Were you driving a motor vehicle in the city of Detroit?
No. And why not passenger? One didn't say passenger.
I think it's driver, sir. So you
Okay.
telling me
Yeah.
you weren't driving?
Yes.
Were you driving?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yes, I probably.
You stopped by a police officer.
Yes.
And was there open alcohol in that vehicle at that time?
Yes.
Mr. Werbling, are you satisfied?
I am, Judge.
The court will accept the guilty plea, being satisfied with the factual basis. The court will also accept, you said, the responsible plea if you are pleading responsible to the ticket ending in 58691 to driving 21 to 25 miles over the speed limit, and that ticket is being amended to limited access. On the date and time and location indicated in that ticket, Mr. Rahman, were you driving over the speed limit on that date, time, and location?
Yes.
And we'll allow you to plead responsible to that. We will amend the charge to limited access. All other matters are being dismissed. So that civil infraction that has been amended to limited access, the fine. Now, Madam Clerk, I believe that
It's-
fine is it 125?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so $125 for civil infraction. And for the open alcohol in the motor vehicle, sir, that fine is going to be $175. So 125 plus 175. Are there any mandatory fees for these matters or any of the matters that were dismissed, Madam Clerk?
There are 2 clearance fees, Your Honor.
Okay, so for the fines today, sir, 125 and 175, that total is, wait a minute, 10. That total is $300 and 2 $45 reinstatement fees. Those are fees that the Secretary of State charges. They're mandatory. The court can't modify those. So $390 is your total, and the time frame to pay is 30 days. Are you
Okay.
able to
So
pay $390 in 30 days, sir?
yes. And once I pay that, will I be able to go and get my license?
I don't know. You will have to go to the Secretary of State's office. I don't know if you have any other tickets in any other jurisdictions.
Okay.
But as to the 36th District Court, this resolves all your matters, correct, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so this resolves all your matters for 36th District Court, but only the Secretary of State can tell you whether you're eligible to have your license reinstated. So you're gonna have to make an appointment and go there.
Okay.
All right, sir. Any other questions?
Nope.
And you know you can pay online, 36districtcourt.org.
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, if you have no other questions, you may disconnect.
All right, you guys have a good day.
Thank you very much. Now, do we have one more Mr. Randall, or did we do Mr. Randall?
We do have Randall, Your Honor, Mr. Randall.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, Devontae Ross checked back in and Dyron Dewberry checked back in, and we have Damon Dixon.
Okay, so Mr. Werbling, which one do you want to do first?
Your Honor, we can do Devontae Ross, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Ross, if you can admit Mr. Ross, Madam Clerk. And the prosecutor still hasn't come in for our trial, right? Or
No,
plea?
Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so case number no, that's Adara Ross. Case number SP 116-39211, Devontae Ramon Ross, driving an unregistered or untitled vehicle, count 2, driving while unlicensed, and count 3 of the same ticket, improper plates. Mr. Devontae Ramon Ross, if you're in the virtual courtroom, sir, please say your full name for the record.
Devontae Ramon Ross.
Thank you. And who's representing Mr. Ross?
Good morning, Your Honor. Ben Werbling, P64889 on behalf of Mr. Ross.
And Mr. Werbling, how are we proceeding with Mr. Ross?
Your Honor, Mr. Ross wishes to waive his rights. He wants to accept the city's offer, Your Honor.
What is that offer, sir?
Seems as though he's pleading to count 3, which would be improper plates, with the recommendation that the counts 1 and 2 would be dismissed, Your Honor.
Thank you so much. Mr. Ross, you have heard the representation of your lawyer. Are you in agreement with that representation?
Yes.
Mr. Ross, were you advised of your right to a trial?
Yes.
And sir, normally, if you were to have that trial held, it would be held inside the 36th District Court. But because of the pandemic, the courthouse is closed to the public. And so you've agreed to participate on the Zoom technology today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mr. Ross, did you have an opportunity to speak to your attorney about all of your rights?
Yes.
Sir, did anyone threaten you, force you, or promise you anything in exchange for your plea?
No.
Are you pleading guilty of your own free will?
Yes.
Are you pleading guilty because you are actually guilty?
Yes.
Do you understand that by pleading guilty, you will be waiving or giving up your right to a trial?
Yes.
And sir, knowing that you're giving up those rights, it's my understanding you wish to go forward with your guilty plea today. Is that right?
Yes.
Mr. Ross, please raise your right hand and be sworn. Sir, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
Ross, you may lower your hand. On the date, the time, the location, sir, indicated in the ticket, ending in 639213. Were you driving a motor vehicle in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
Were you stopped by a police officer?
Yes.
And sir, were the plates on that vehicle improper?
Yes.
What's wrong with them, Mr. Ross?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can you repeat that?
Do you remember what was wrong with those plates?
If I'm not mistaken, they were for a different, my other car. I had 2 separate cars, and when I lost the other car while waiting on my other plate to come, I didn't want to ride with no plate, so I put the old plate in the car, the new one.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. Mr. Werbling, are you satisfied with the factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will accept the guilty plea. Being satisfied with the factual basis, we will also accept the recommendation to dismiss the remaining two charges previously read into the record. And your fine is $145, sir. Are you able to pay that in 30 days?
I should be able to.
Okay, are you employed?
No, ma'am.
How do you support yourself?
Well, I do odd jobs.
Okay. When's the last time you were employed?
I was recently employed, I want to say, ending of last year at McDonald's.
Okay. And what happened to that job?
They were really relaxed and not enforcing the face mask thing. And a couple people, the coworkers that I work with had caught COVID. And I actually ended up catching COVID. So once I got better, I decided just not to go back because they still were not making people wear masks.
Really? Okay. What if I give you an additional 15 days, so 45 days to pay that fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Any questions, Mr. Ross?
No.
All right. Then you may disconnect from the hearing. We will give you 45 days to pay.
Okay.
All right, you may disconnect. And Mr. Werbling, who's ready next, sir?
Yes, Judge, we could do Mr. Robert Randall.
All right, ma'am. Madam
He
Clerk,
goes up again.
he's off.
Oh, he's no longer available. Okay.
Are there any other officers other than the one for the Miss Medina's case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, that's the only officer remaining.
Yes.
Okay.
We have Damon Dixon still?
Right, we do. I need to speak with Miss Warren about Mr. Dixon and Mr. Dewberry. Because
Okay,
Mr.
is there anyone we can